Fantasy Philosophers is brought to you by fantasy-info.com.
Last season, questions surrounded Tom Brady in the offseason if he was going to be ready to start the year and how would he perform once he got to playing again. Brady responded with being ready right away in preseason, and from that point on, he played the season in its entirety into the playoffs as the team lost against the Ravens. Brady at times did look beat up. He wasn't sharp and crisp sometimes with his accuracy, but a lot of that has to do with that he did have a major knee injury. Usually with an injury like that, it takes you until your second year removed from that before you're able to physically do the things that you want to do, or at least as good as you possibly can do again off of an injury like that. So I would expect Brady to come back physically and have better accuracy consistently, and also, be just more productive overall as a player, and that's going to help guys, again, like Randy Moss and so on, players that maybe you don't know that much about, like Julian Edelman, receiver that came on late in the season when Wes Welker went down. Brady's got some good options. I really do like the fact that the Patriots went out and got Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, two tight ends, to help give him some extra pass catchers. I really believe he needed that to stay in the top 5 fantasy quarterbacks coming into this season. Remember, this is a very deep class for, just good starting quarterbacks in fantasy. This is one of the deeper classes I can remember that, can get you, close to around 30 touchdowns and maybe 4,000 plus yards passing. This has got to be one of the deepest classes I can remember in the 20 years that I've been playing fantasy football. So, Brady is still a very good quarterback. And I do again believe that his physical ailments that he had a season ago, a lot of that's going to be erased coming into this year. He still has his big play stud in Randy Moss, so expect Brady to do very well in spite of him having, I believe it's the second hardest schedule against the pass. I think the hardest schedule against the pass, that's really tough for the average quarterback. But if a good quarterback's sharp and on his game, he can usually overcome that. We saw Drew Brees have the hardest schedule against the pass coming into last season, and that really didn't faze him a bit. He still had 34 touchdowns, a bunch of yardage, and they went on and won a Super Bowl. So, a guy like a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees, when they're on their game, even those hard schedules, he may get slowed down a bit when they play the Jets and maybe even the Bills, because they can take, especially with the Bills, because they can take advantage of them so easily against the run. But most of the time, he's still going to give you really good days. He's still going to have his really, really big days in there. So, that's what you look for as a fantasy owner. And, take Brady and expect a good season.
For more fantasy football information, go to fantasy-info.com and sign up for our free e-newsletter. Good luck in your 2010 Fantasy Football League. As an added bonus, the Fantasy Info guys will include their 5 secret tips for success in fantasy football.